This is an all-in-one guide on advanced movement and combat surf. Now, if you haven't watched my beginner tutorial already, please do so, because trying to do anything in this video is just going to be extremely hard without having that prerequisite. Now, advanced movement is broken up into three main concepts: turnbinds, W-Strafing, and backward strafing. Stay around till the end of the video, because there will be some important notes and key factors that also do play into all three of these concepts. So we're just going to get straight into it. Turnbinds are just binded buttons that when pressed turn either left or right. Also, it would be really important to mention that if you don't have mouse buttons, you can just completely forget about this part, as turnbinds are super hard without mouse buttons. But you can still try. I'm not going to stop you, of course. To be able to do any type of movement that involves extended periods of turning or smooth movement, you need turnbinds. There's literally no other way around it. The issue with this game is that turnbinds are a part of it, but because of how Roblox works, you're only able to bind them to the keys on your keyboard. Like I said before, it's highly recommended that you use your mouse buttons, as trying to surf with W, A, and D, and trying to press another key to turnbind is super hard. So to be able to actually bind your mouse buttons, I'm going to quickly show you how to download this external software and how to use it. If you do think it's sketchy, don't worry, it is safe. It's on GitHub. I've been using it for a while now, but of course you don't have to. Like, this is just a recommendation so that your movement does become better. To actually download the software, you're just going to click on the link down in the description below. It's going to send you to a GitHub page, and you're just going to go right under releases and click on the latest release. Once you're here, you're going to scroll down a little bit more until you find turnbinds.exe. Download it, run it, and you'll be presented with the actual software. Now that you actually have your software, I'm going to show you how to use it. So to navigate through it, you're just going to use your arrow keys, and to change values, you're just going to press enter. What we're going to be looking at is plus left, plus right, cycle, and yaw speed. First thing is plus left. You want to change what it's binded to. Currently it's binded to your left mouse button, and you want to change that to your side mouse button. So you're just going to press enter, and you're going to press for left, the farthest button from you, which is the one all the way up front here. So we're just going to press that if it wants to work. Jesus. There we go. X2 mouse button. Then your plus right, which is going to be the closest mouse button to you, which for me is this one. If you want to look at it this way, it'd be the one on the right. So you're just going to press that if it wants to work again. There you go. X1. It's a little finicky, but you'll figure it out. And then cycle, obviously you want to change that so that you don't have two things binded. Two things binded to the same button. So we're just gonna click on that and just click like a random button. I'm just gonna probably do like home on my keyboard. Doesn't really matter. Then finally, you're gonna look at yaw speed. For me, what I find the best sensitivity, and this is just the sensitivity of how fast you're actually turning when you do press the buttons. For me, I like 200. So you can navigate through the values here, but you can also change them. So if I press enter on 210, I can change it to 2000. But I just like 200, which for me works the best. And once you actually do go in game and you start pressing the buttons, as you can see, they start working. Like I said, like it's just all personal preference. If you want to change values, you can just press enter and change to whatever. If you like something faster, you can go 300, something just in between, obviously 240, just like that. So you can just do whatever suits you best. So just some quick features with the software and how to use turnbinds that I'll be explaining here. When turning in a certain direction, you can hold shift and it'll slow down the turn speed, and this becomes really helpful in certain situations. While turning, you can also move your mouse in that direction to speed it up, or against that direction to slow it down. Just a quick little final note before we finish this off. Turnbinds aren't supposed to be a full substitution to surfing. They're supposed to work with your hand movement. For example, assuming that you already have low sensitivity, if you want to do a full 360, right, for me, if I want to do a full 360, my hand is all the way at the end of my mouse pad, and then I'd have to reset back to the middle. Instead of needing to do that, I could just do like a quarter turn or a half turn, and then use my button to finish the rest, right? This helps out so much. Just in situations where I'd be in the sky and I'm ready to take a shot, then I have the ability to, rather than if my hand was all the way over here, I'd have to reset, I'd lose a bunch of time, might miss a kill, or it might mess up your surf as well. Smooth mounting is an extremely important thing to learn. If you're able to smoothly mount onto a ramp, it gains you a bunch of speed, maintains whatever speed you already have, and it looks super clean. Not being able to smoothly mount makes you lose speed, potentially lose the ramp, and it looks terrible. So I'm going to show you a side-by-side comparison of a smooth mount and a non-smooth mount. So here I'm coming towards the ramp, and I slam into it, which makes me lose speed, bump the ramp right there, and overall just forces me to restart. Whereas here I'm coming towards the ramp, and instead of slamming into it, I smoothly glide onto it, which makes me gain speed, maintains all those units I already had, and looks so much cleaner. When you were first learning how to surf, you probably heard from every person that the W key should not be touched whatsoever. And I'm here to tell you that that's completely wrong. The W key can be super useful in almost every situation. You just gotta know how and when to use it. So I've made a little model here for you to be able to understand what I'm talking about better. The black circle represents a player moving in a circle, like so, and each colored line represents where the player is looking, holding however many keys. I've added a legend at the top left corner so you can differentiate which color is which. Starting with the red line, which is a single key rotation, we can see that when holding a single key down while turning, it causes your player to be looking straight, about almost a 90-degree turn away from that black center dot. We can start to make our player look more towards the center dot the more keys that we hold down. So looking at the orange line, which is a double key rotation, your player will start to look more towards the middle of the circle when you're holding 2 keys down, and that's either A or D with W. And this forces your player to look about 45 degrees away from the center dot rather than the 90 degrees. You can also call this a W half strafe. Finally, looking at the green line, which is a triple key rotation or a W full strafe, and this is when you're holding all 3 keys, A, W, and D, your player will start to look directly at the center. It'll cause you to spin in a circle while focusing on the point you are turning around. Using W and strafing is occasional, but once you get more into it, you're going to start to feel when it's needed. Majority of the time, I use it when I need to see more of the area that I'm in, just to get more information, just to see where everybody else is, and also to see like what ramps or buildings are around me. There's a clip playing in the background that may or may not give you a better understanding of what I mean. Backward strafing is the same as forward strafing, but your actions are just the opposite. When strafing forward, you would look in the same direction as the key that you are pressing. For example, looking left while holding A. But to backward strafe, you need to be looking in the opposite direction to the key that you're pressing. For example, instead, what you'd be doing is you'd be looking right while holding the A key. And obviously you can use the same concept for the D key. So once again, when going forwards, you would be jumping and then looking in the same direction as the key that you're pressing. But when going backwards, you need to hold A, for example, and start looking to the right instead of the left. And it just looks something like this. And from here, you can start going backwards. Make sure you practice this a lot. So this is where it gets a little tricky. If you get better at backward strafing, you should begin trying to switch between forward strafing and backward strafing. And I'll quickly go over the fundamentals so it's easier to understand what I'm talking about. So when strafing forwards, you're switching from A to D to A to D. And you're looking from left to right to left to right. And this forces your player to be looking forwards. But if you press either A or D, and I'm just going to go with A for this example, you're going to look to the right instead of the left. And this forces your player to turn around. From here, you can start strafing backwards. To turn back around forwards, you're just going to use the forward strafing concept and look in the direction of the key that you're holding, which will cause your player to turn around forwards once again. So just to show you really quickly, we're going to be strafing forwards, so A to D to A to D, and that's left to right to left to right. And to turn around, I'm going to hold the A key. Instead of looking to the left, I'm going to look to the right. And from here, I turned around, and I can strafe backwards. But to turn around back forwards again, I'm just going to hold A, and I'm going to use the forward strafing concept and look in the direction of the key that I'm holding. Obviously, you can do this for the D key as well. It's just flipped in the directions and in the key. Knowing the backwards strafing concept means knowing how to do something called a return. A return is a simple thing to learn if you're good at backwards strafing, and all it is returning to the map while flying backwards. So that whole turnaround thing basically ties into this perfectly, and what you learn on the ground is what you should be able to use while you're in the sky. So while you're flying backwards, hold either A or D and turn around. And using that momentum and assuming that you're not too far away from any ramp, you should be able to get back onto the map no problem.